make it 3.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh, no.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You get your 2?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and I have got 2 clips, both in the Nürnberg today. They're really good battles, and if you recall, I'm now on the quest for the Tier 7 German cruiser, which is happening any day now. Once I get the credits for it. But had some pretty amazing battles in this Nürnberg along the way. Still, trying to get that cruiser anyway, very close to it. But I wanted to share these 2 battles. These I thought were pretty great. So in the first battle, we are on straight. Actually, in both battles today, we're on straight. Crazy enough, yeah. But in this one, you can see, in no division, and I'm just sort of looking around, seeing what the team does. Very important to do at the beginning of the battle, of course, because, and especially on this map where you're split apart like this, you need to see what the other side is kind of going to do as well. This sort of determines where I'm going to go, and the group that I'm with obviously will determine where I'm going to go. I'm liking the matchmaking that I'm seeing here, because I notice on the enemy team that there are a lot of low tier cruisers, tier 6 and tier 5. Well, I say low tier, I mean same tier as me or lower. But there are some higher tiers like those Miyokos. Yeah, the Miyokos do scare me a lot. There is the first, I think it's an Omaha. Yeah. Shooting at this guy, so you can see that I've decided to, at this point, more or less see what's going to happen in the northern part, or the northern cap point here at A. See what the enemy does, right? If they don't take this point, or if they don't make an attempt to take the point or push the point, why not go in there and cap it? And if they do, then I can always circle around and just get the hell out of here. Because, Nuremberg cannot take any shots at all. Cool thing I just read on the forums, actually, talking about how in the new upcoming patch the German ships are actually going to be lowered in the water, which is going to put the citadels down below the waterline, which is really nice in the to get in the German cruisers. And I don't know if any of you have the German cruisers, but you might have noticed, I started noticing at the Königsberg that it sits high in the water, so you can kind of see on the stern, you can see the hull come up out of the water. Sometimes you can even see the struts holding on the propeller shafts right at the back of the ship there. But anyway, looks like in the new patch they're going to be lowering the ship in the waterline to just make the ships play better, I guess. And I'm looking forward to that, especially, given that I'm going up this German cruiser line. Now we do have a tier 4 Russian destroyer there off on the starboard side, so I've got my high explosive loaded, so yeah, we're just gonna put shots into this guy, get him gone. We don't need him coming in and ruining our day. You can see that his engines are gone, which is fantastic. He shoots off his torpedoes. I don't really have to worry because the maximum his torpedoes can reach out is 5 kilometers, and that's assuming he has the upgraded ones. So he's gone now, and Ally took him out, so that was great. There's an Omaha, switching back over to armor piercing. 1 armor piercing against this Omaha because, yeah, obvious reasons. You're going to get so many citadel hits on this thing, do a lot of damage really quickly and get them gone. It's pretty fantastic. The same thing can be said about the Nuremberg though, so keep in mind, ideally when you play the ship, I've said it before, try and keep to not necessarily the maximum range, but 10 kilometers to 16 kilometers is an ideal range for the Nuremberg here. Kuma just died there. Ally just exploded that guy. That was amazing. And now he's gone. You can see that we haven't, we've taken the A point, and the enemy hasn't really pushed this A point at all, so there's no point in staying up here anymore. So, I'm working my way down, getting into the middle B point here to see what's going on, shooting down some planes and dodging torpedoes along the way. Still have that Omaha off in the distance. This guy, I really wanted that guy to get gone as soon as possible, but doesn't happen. I think I might eventually get him later on in the battle, but we'll have to wait for that to come up to see what happens there. In the meantime, just continuing to put more shots into him to let him know that I haven't forgotten about him, and I will get back to him. I'm turning now. I don't want to go directly into the B point at this time, because you can see there are some well, I was going to call it torpedo boat. Essentially it is, but there are some destroyers in there, and I don't want to just charge in there and get torpedoed. So I'm going to use this island as a bit of cover, or so I think. Unfortunately, I just run right into it. Ends up saving me though, because that battleship over there did put a salvo out, and instead of hitting me, it hit the island. So that was pretty good. And luckily there are no enemy ships around me at this time. What I will say though is, remember, there's 2 clips in today's video, so keep that island that I just ran into, keep that island in mind when we're looking at the second clip of the day. Anyway, there is another enemy ship off in the distance. I believe that is a tier 3 German cruiser, the Kolberg, which is kind of crazy to see in this battle. But okay, there it is. There's an almost dead enemy destroyer. I really wanted to get that guy. I'd get a nice citadel hit on that Kolberg, actually. Is it a Kolberg? It might be a Kuma, in fact. Yeah, that's definitely a Kuma. So I get a nice citadel hit on the Kuma. But I continue to move, sort of towards the south now. We are capping the B point, so there's a destroyer in there. He's doing a good job. I don't want to again go in there and just die, become the center of focus for all these enemy ships, right? That's not what you want to do in your Nürnberg or in the Königsberg, really. Pick your times that you're going to move in close. Pick them carefully. Obviously, though, sometimes you get into situations where you just have to either ram them or get, crazy suicide torpedo run. Those times are excluded from this. These enemy ships, they are going to go into B, and I was feeling pretty good about them going to B and me going this direction, because if you'll notice, I do have some enemy ships here in the back, and I'm figuring that there's probably going to be a carrier around here as well, right? Because this is where the enemy aircraft carrier might be at this time. He's at least going to be in the southern half of the map, and given that the enemy ships are all over there, maybe, especially since carriers tend to go lone wolf, if you will. Especially at this tier. So moving into the range of more enemies, right, coming out from behind the islands, and armor piercing is loaded, and there's an Omaha. Yes, some of my shots are getting absorbed by the island in front of me, but doesn't matter. You can see, even though the shots that make it through, those shots are still being effective here. I'm still doing some damage, getting some citadel hits on the Omaha as well. That was a nice salvo, right? All of the shots from the rear, 2 turrets managed to get out. Get another citadel on the Omaha as well. He's down to about half health. Can't shoot anything anymore because of the islands, but whatever. I'm shortly going to come around here, give the good news to some of my fellow enemy players here. Let them know that I am now in position. In terms of that B capture, right, that the Allied destroyer was taking, unfortunately at this time some cruisers are in there, enemy cruisers, but whatever, doesn't matter. Here comes a Kuma, so I shoot off my torpedoes at the Kuma. It's not too often on these German cruisers that I get the opportunity to shoot my torpedoes, and it's because they're really more of a defensive armament on these cruisers, right? Because of the range at 6 kilometers, it's still a fairly decent range, 6 kilometers, I'm not complaining about it, but with the Japanese cruisers you get 10 kilometers, and when you have 10 kilometer torpedoes, there are times where you have the option of using those torpedoes offensively. Just right now with the 6 kilometer torpedo range, I just don't feel that you can use them offensively, but nice touch to have for defensive maneuvers. There's the Kuma, putting some last salvos into him, and he's gone. Excellent. Looking around, right? Again, just looking around, seeing what's around. I'm taking a few hits here, but I'm not too concerned, right? There's the Omaha. I'm pretty sure that is the same Omaha that I was shooting off in the distance a while ago. Yes, he's back, but not for long. I mean, he is doing a good job, to his credit. He's driving more or less straight on me and not really exposing a citadel for me, but it doesn't matter, right? He's on such low health that I'm going to get him anyway. Now we have another Omaha here off in the distance. He is at full health. I'm at fairly low health, so I start pumping shots into him, knowing that I can probably get this guy. So the first salvo didn't do too much, and I'm maneuvering. I can't really take a whole lot of hits from him, but there's a nice citadel hit on him. Well, a few citadel hits on him anyway. And he's down to half health, so that's amazing. Now I'm just sort of boating away. I'm using the rear turrets, the turrets on my stern, to fire at this guy. I'm not really concerned about trying to angle the ship and get that third turret into the firing, because I want to present as small a target as possible. If the Omaha is smart, he is using armor piercing. I think he is actually, because this guy wasn't dumb. Using armor piercing on me, because it's gonna get. He has a chance of doing citadels and really taking me out. With the Omaha, his problem is going to be how good can he aim with such a high firing arc, right? That's going to be the issue that he'll have to deal with. But still, now I'm turning around because he's turned away from me, and now I'm going to start putting full salvos into him, full broadsides, get those into him, and see if we can't get this guy gone. In the meantime, the Allies have captured B, and we have only 2 enemy ships remaining, so yeah, we win this. No big deal. It was a pretty great battle, and it really does show you as well, you know, what you can accomplish in this Nürnberg as long as you're aware of the ship you're driving and you're captaining whatever, doing it properly. As long as you're doing that, you're going to have some really good battles in this Nürnberg. So just the Omaha, and I think that's a Fuso that we have left. I'm not looking to become the center of attention for that Fuso by no means, because he can just destroy me if he wants to. One salvo from that guy, and I'm more than dead. So yeah, using the island as cover, turning into it, and then refocusing back onto the Omaha, because the Omaha is really the only ship left now at this point that I can do some really good damage to, get some more points, get some more credits, more experience, and more importantly, another kill. Is that more importantly? I don't think it's really more importantly. It'd be nice to get another kill. Looking back at the Fuso, just to make sure he's not targeting me, right? Don't want this guy to suddenly surprise me and just blow me up. The Omaha is kind of getting a little desperate now. You can see he's doing circling a lot more, and really exposing those citadels for me to give me a chance anyway to get in there, hit him with some good salvos, and maybe get one last kill, finish this battle off. We were gonna win it anyway. The points are just capping up, right? Still focused on the Omaha though. Really want to get this guy. Just for that extra kill. More importantly, I think I'm at... Well, I have a few citadels anyway, and to get another citadel is always nice. He's on really low health now, so maybe just 1-2 more hits and I'll probably get him. But again, you can see he's not being that dumb, right? He's driving away in straight away from me, so presenting as small a target as possible. And it's just when he turns to circle back like he's doing now that he really exposes himself. There we go, and I managed to kill him. I was really afraid right now because I grounded myself. This Fuso is more or less has his guns trained on me here, right? He just has to put a few shots into me and I am done. Oh yeah, but luckily, for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to notice this, and I suppose for whatever reason, right? He's got ships shooting at him. I could argue, you could argue though, that he'd probably try and last ditch effort to take one last enemy out, but whatever. Luckily, I get lucky. 267,000 credits, pull off with 3 kills. This was during the 2 times weekend that just ended for Halloween, so that's the 5,300 experience you see there. Top of the team overall. In terms of damage done, I mean, it wasn't anything too spectacular, but 74,000 damage done is what we were looking at there. And, experience, and I still walk away with 200,000 credits, which is all working towards the Tier 7 German cruiser. Now, next clip we're looking at, again in the Nürnberg, and again on straight. Totally different battle though. You can see I'm spawning in the southern half of the map this time, but still it was a pretty spectacular battle, and luckily, giving credit to the team, they weren't complete window lickers, so they weren't part of that group, and we do pull off some amazing results here. So we don't have to worry about capping the different points A, B, and C at this point. In this type of battle here, it's really more or less about defending our base and pushing their base. That would be an ideal situation, but it really depends on what the people, the allies we have in the north are going to do. Because if they decide to go all out and just push their base, that's going to go a few different ways. The worst way, obviously, is that they all die, and now it's just the ships on the south to do whatever. But it could go really well, and if it does go really well, you kind of want to be there to help support it and keep the momentum of the push going. Whereas if it's going really bad, yeah, you probably want to hunker down in the base. Probably for the best. This battle, yeah. So I mean, there's an Oba, right? The Oba is a really big threat for me. Really, really got to watch out for this guy. He grounds himself, though. Yep. We've got some friendly torpedoes on their way to him. There we go. He takes some torpedoes, and yeah, this is his contribution. I'm sure the player was very angry when that happened, for obvious reasons. So he's gone, don't have to worry about him. And there is an enemy, what is that? Maybe it's a Murmansk? Not really sure. I'm going to say Murmansk. I get a nice citadel hit on him and do a bit of damage to him, so that's not too bad at all. But we do have to be aware because he's kind of pushing our base. Notice on the minimap though there's a destroyer popping in and out of view. I don't actually see him just yet, but I am going to quickly be aware of his existence. Once I finish up with that guy there. Realize that he's there, switching over, and I'm going to get some shots into him. I don't really have time to switch over and put some high explosives into the barrel, so I just go with the armor piercing and I get some nice lucky shots on him, right? Sure, he's at this close to me, but 2 quick salvos, he's gone. There's my first kill. Excellent. Alright, he did take out my ally. That kind of sucked. But whatever, managed to dodge the torpedoes that he shot off in last-ditch desperation. The Murmansk or Omaha, whatever it was that I was shooting at over there, he did die, I believe. He's no longer alive, so that's great as well. And the south is kind of looking secure, is what I'm thinking. Coming around this island, though, you can see that there are several enemies over here, and I couldn't really see them because don't have direct line of sight with the island there. But also, there is a smoke screen up, and I have to be aware of that. There is an enemy. Let's zoom in on him again. It's either Königsberg or Nürnberg. Not really sure which one, but there he is. So I immediately start putting shots into him, and he was just sort of sitting there. Wasn't really the best move, but to his credit, as soon as he detected me, he started moving right away, right? So I didn't actually get a full salvo into him of him just sitting there. This guy now becomes the center of my focus. Not only is he a pretty big threat to me, but he's a pretty big threat to the whole team. And this guy wasn't dumb, right? He's not. He knows his ship, and he's not just giving me a broadside to put shots into. He is actually, driving straight away, maneuvering around so that every shot I fire in does really miss. There comes the enemy aircraft carrier, so I'm going to put a quick salvo into this guy and go back to. We're going to call it a Königsberg, and go back to the Königsberg. Yeah, I'll go Königsberg. Anyway, so putting more shots into this guy. But again, look at him. This is how you would want to play a Königsberg or a Nuremberg if you're in this situation and someone is shooting you down like I'm doing to this guy. Drive straight away and maneuver around. Watch every salvo that comes in and try to avoid it. Ideally, that's the situation. I know, easier said than done, but that's what you would want to accomplish. The biggest threat to you is if they're chasing you down straight on and their ship is faster can go faster than 32 knots. That'll be a pretty big issue for you then, but you do have torpedoes. Now he has to turn, right, because those islands are coming straight at him, and he doesn't really want to ground himself. That would be a really, really bad thing to do. You don't want to ground yourself. In terms of enemy ships remaining, right, we have 3 of theirs gone. They only managed to sink 1 of our cruisers so far, so that's not too bad at all. Now that the Königsberg here is presenting me his broadside, I'm able to get some pretty good shots into him and bring him down to almost, we'll say a third health remaining. But again, he's not dumb. He takes, the islands recede a bit, and he takes that space and turns away from me. So some of the incoming salvos that I have for him do miss and don't do a whole lot of damage if they do hit. So kudos to this guy. He knew what he was doing. I just got really lucky, I think. You can see I didn't take a whole lot of damage so far. I mean, now he's managing to shoot back at me because it's more or less all last-ditch effort here. All he can do is either drive in a straight line or do what he's doing, which is a smart thing to do, right? Fire and turn, fire and turn. That is what you would want to do now at this point, and that is what he's doing. You can see it there. get some nice shots onto him, take out one of his turrets, I believe is what that critical damage was. But I'm still struggling to find my range on him. At the end, some allied torpedoes come in and take him out. So that was a nice duel with that Konigsberg driver. That was really nice, and he played a good game there. There's the enemy aircraft carrier, so I immediately start putting salvos into him. I've got armor piercing loaded, and he's gone. Fantastic. One salvo, blam. There is an enemy destroyer, so I'm acutely aware of this guy. Don't want him to come in and torpedo me, but I can also see that other enemy aircraft carrier back there, right? So it looks a little tempting to come in here. Maybe try and do something. I do get a shot off at the enemy aircraft carrier. I think it was a Bogue. I thought he was driving away, steaming away from me, but it turns out he's steaming towards me. So the shots that I'm taking at the Bogue, none of them hit. And it's not until I get a clear line of sight on him that I realize that he's actually steaming towards me. See? You can see him aiming way back there because I think he's steaming away. No, steaming towards me. The enemy aircraft carrier that I sunk, though, did manage to get, I think it's some dive bombers off, and they were on their way to me, but luckily my aircraft carrier was right there with this fighter squadrons, takes them down and gets a nice clear sky for himself. So that was awesome. Bit of a drink. Coming into this little cove now, right, to the east of where the B cap point would be. There's the destroyer. I knew he was here, so he launches some torpedoes off of me, but not really a big deal. I'm able to dodge them without any issue at all. I'm going to use the island as cover, and you can see I'm lining up my torpedoes now. Wouldn't it be fantastic if I could torpedo that destroyer with my torpedoes? Why, yes it would. So here he comes, and I forget about him, right? I know that my torpedoes, I have a good spread of torpedoes there, and they are definitely going to kill him. There he goes. There's a Confederate for me as well. That is my second kill. Fantastic. There's the enemy aircraft carrier, and I've got high explosive loaded because, I was all ready to start shooting at that destroyer. So instead, just start pumping those high explosives into the enemy aircraft carrier. See if I can't get this Bogue gone. Taking a look around because I saw the smoke in front of me, but if you notice, there are no enemy destroyers left, and so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Now it's just all about finishing up the rest of the enemies. Here comes an enemy Oba. Yeah, I was pretty afraid of that Oba because he has some really nice cannons on him, and he can get just to siddle the hell out of me, and I'm going to die. It's going to be all over. Enemy Bogue, though, unfortunately, he just can't get away. There's a nice siddle, and I get him, and that is my third kill, I believe. Is it third? That might be my fourth kill, actually. Yeah, that's my fourth kill. Now we have to deal with the enemy Oba. He is on low health, though, so that's good for me. I put some high explosive rounds into him, right? Not really realizing that I should probably fire armor piercing at this guy right now. Look he has his broadside to me. It would make the most sense. You can see I do clue in, and there, got my armor piercing queued up. So another round of another broadside of high explosive goes into him. There goes a round of armor piercing, and I finish him off. Unfortunately for me, yeah, there's the island. Remember in the first clip I mentioned, keep that island in mind? Well, there it is again, rearing its ugly head. Unfortunately, now I have a Miyoko just bearing down on me. This is really unfortunate. I'm doing a lot of nice damage to the Miyoko, which is, pretty great. I'm getting him getting him down there. He's at least down to half health now. But there's no hope at all for me. Look at these. He has 8-inch cannons. I mean, look at them come in, and I'm just gone. It's all over, but I mean, in my brief little stint here, I managed to do some good damage. And my last salvo on that Miyoko did do 2 citadel hits, I think, on him, so look at how much health he has left. It's going to take nothing at all for my team to finish and kill this guy, and the enemy team only has 2 ships left. So fantastic. So I mean, 5 kills, Confederate, and a devastating strike. That wasn't too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Just while I'm sinking here, we are going to switch over to one of my allied ships. I think it's a Miyoko that we're going to switch over to here shortly. I just want to see, if this destroyer can finish off that enemy Miyoko, because that's the guy that killed me, and I want him to die. He is shooting torpedoes off at my destroyer friend, but luckily destroyer friend is able to avoid them. That wasn't too bad at all. So there, we switch over to the destroyer. We're going to see what happens to this Miyoko here, because damn it, I want him to die. The enemy, well, my ally destroyer here, it's, what is it, a Mitsuki? Yeah, Mitsuki. He has, yeah, I mean, the reload on the Mitsuki is nothing compared to the Minikaze, right? So he really has to be careful with his torpedoes here. He's launching off one spread at a time, which is nice to see, but he's on really, really low health. And the enemy Miyoko really only has to hit him one more time before he gets him. Yeah, there he goes. He's gone. That sucks. But we'll switch over to an allied Miyoko. There he is. And see if he can't get that guy gone. Then there's only one enemy ship remaining, and you can see that enemy ship remaining is way up in the northwest part of the map there. He's more or less hiding out up there, right? He's cowering almost in the corner. Allied Miyoko shoots off the torpedoes for the enemy Miyoko, and we're just I'm thinking to myself, at this point, like, just kill this guy. Come on, man, just finish him off. You've got guns. Do it. Turn your boat, take the chance, and kill him. I really, really want to see the enemy Miyoko go. Vengeance, vengeance is a dish best served cold. There he goes. Finally, enemy Miyoko did die, and we win the match. Excellent. Taking a look at the results, so 384,000 credits, 7,300 experience. Again, that was 2 times. End up with 5 kills, 5 settle hits, so not too bad. Top of the team overall, top of everyone overall, basically. It's a pretty good battle in the Nürnberg, and it's all going towards getting that Tier 7 German cruiser, which I'm very, very close to. Just need some more money. Looking at damage, I think, what was that? 95k damage. That wasn't too bad at Tier 6. Almost 100,000, but just couldn't get that extra bit out there. So that's today's video. Do hope you enjoy it. Do hope you saw some strategies there that you can use while you're playing your German cruisers. Starting at the Königsberg, I would recommend start listening to the strategies I'm talking about and employing them in battle. As always, leave any comments that you might have. Always love reading those. Hit the old like button if you like the video today, and if you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe as well. As always, folks, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.